Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're jumping into SAP HANA.
Right.
We're looking at it through the lens of the HPE2-B03 exam question.
Yeah, it's a really practical way to get at the core stuff.
Exactly. Think of it as a quick way to get up to speed on, key ideas about deploying SAP HANA and the infrastructure it needs.
hmm
Our sources are these practice questions and their explanations, and our mission really is just to pull out the essential knowledge nuggets.
Keeping it focused.
Focused,
Yeah.
yeah. Clarity, useful insights without getting totally bogged down in the weeds, ready to dive in.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Let's do it. These questions often highlight what's really fundamental in practice.
Okay, first one up. It asks, which of the following best describes a greenfield SAP HN implementation? Lots of options here about migrations, upgrades,
Uh,
but the source says the answer is B, building a new SAP HN environment from scratch. So what's the big takeaway here?
well, greenfield is the key. It really just means a totally fresh start. No baggage from old systems.
Right, building from the ground up.
Exactly. And, understanding this versus brownfield that's migrating an existing system is pretty fundamental. Greenfield lets you design specifically for HANA's strengths.
So an opportunity to optimize right from the beginning. Maybe even rethink some processes.
Precisely. You're not constrained by legacy decisions. It's a chance to fully leverage the new platform.
Makes sense. Clean slate. Okay, question 2 moves on to growth. In SAP HANA deployments, what is a key advantage of scale-out architecture?
Scalability.
The answer given is C, enables horizontal growth by adding more nodes. Why is just adding more servers or nodes so important for SAP HANA?
Well, you have to remember, SAP HANA is an in-memory database. It holds data in RAM for super fast access.
Which means it needs a lot of memory and processing power, right?
Exactly. And scale-out lets you spread that load across multiple machines, these nodes.
So you're not stuck trying to make one single machine bigger and bigger.
Right. That's scale-up, or vertical scaling. Scale-out, adding more nodes gives you more flexibility. You can grow incrementally as your data or workload increases. It's often more cost-effective than buying one massive, super expensive server.
So more adaptable handles growth better. Got it. Question 3 now, about planning. Which tool is recommended by SAP for helping customers initially plan SAP HANA system sizing?
Sizing. Crucial step.
The correct answer here is B, SAP Quick Sizer. Why is nailing that initial size so important?
Well, getting the sizing right up front is just fundamental. It hits both performance and cost.
How so?
SAP QuickSizer helps you estimate what you'll need: memory, CPU, storage, based on your expected workload. If you undersize it, you risk poor performance, maybe even stability.
And if you oversize?
Then you're paying for resources you aren't using.
Mhm.
So a tool like QuickSizer is key for that initial planning, finding that balance.
Okay, yeah, a critical balancing act. Don't want to waste money or bottleneck the system. Question 4, this brings HPE into the picture. Which HPE solution is optimized for SAP HANA's in-memory compute requirements?
Okay.
The answer is A, HPE Synergy Composable Infrastructure. What makes Synergy a good match for HANA?
Synergy's whole concept is composability. It means you can dynamically pool and assign resources, compute, storage, networking as needed.
Fluid resources.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that flexible pool really suits SAP HANA's demanding in-memory nature. You can tailor the infrastructure precisely, which helps performance and availability.
And you can adjust it later if needs change, like for peak times.
That's a big part of it, yeah.
Yeah.
You can allocate more resources temporarily if demand spikes, then release them. That adaptability is key.
Adaptable and high-performing.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Okay, next question looks at the money side. What is a key financial benefit of using HPE GreenLake for SAP HANA deployments?
GreenLake. This is interesting.
The answer is A, pay-per-use pricing model. How is paying like this different from, the old way of buying everything up front?
It's a big shift, really. Traditionally, you'd have large capital expenditures buying all the hardware and software.
Right, big investment.
With GreenLake's pay-per-use model, it's more like an operational expense. You pay for the capacity you actually consume.
So more flexible financially, lower upfront cost.
Definitely. It aligns IT spending much more closely with actual business usage. It's kind of like switching from owning a car to using a taxi or ride sharing. You pay as you go.
That's a good analogy. Okay, let's talk safety nets. Question 6. When designing an SAP HANA backup strategy, what is a primary consideration?
Data protection. Always critical.
The answer given is C. Ensuring backups are stored in multiple availability zones. Why is this redundancy so vital? And maybe quickly explain availability zones.
Sure. Availability zones, or AZs, are basically separate physical locations like different data centers, but usually within the same region.
Okay, physically separate.
Right. And storing your backups in multiple AZs drastically increases your data's resilience. If one location has a major issue, power outage, flood, whatever, your backup copies are safe in another independent zone.
So it prevents a single point of failure for your backups.
Exactly. It's fundamental for business continuity. Minimizes data loss risk and downtime.
Makes total sense. Geographic separation for safety. Question 7 digs into keeping HANA running smoothly. High availability. In an SAP high availability setup, which component ensures data persistence after a failure?
Persistence, yeah. Important distinction.
The answer is C, persistent storage.
Yeah.
What's its role in HA?
So in an HA setup, the goal is minimal disruption, right? Persistent storage, usually on shared disk systems, is where the actual data lives long-term.
Okay.
It ensures your data is safe and intact, even if an active component, like a server node, fails, when the system fails over to a standby component.
It needs the latest data immediately.
Precisely. That standby needs access to consistent, up-to-date data. The persistent storage provides that shared, reliable data source. It's the foundation for recovery. Things like memory mirroring can speed up the failover, but persistent storage is the ultimate data guarantee.
Got it. The bedrock for data integrity during failover. Okay, question 8, back to deployment options. Which deployment option allows SAP HANA workloads to be run in a fully managed on-premises environment?
On-prem but managed.
The answer is B, HPE GreenLake for SAP HANA. We mentioned GreenLake for paper use, but how does this managed on-prem setup work? How's it different from just running it yourself on-prem?
Yeah, it highlights how models are blurring. You could run HANA on your own gear in your data center.
The traditional way.
Right. But GreenLake for SAP HANA offers that same on-premises location, but HPE manages the infrastructure for you.
Ah, so you keep it in-house but offload the management headache.
Basically, yes. You get the
Yeah.
benefits of on-prem data sovereignty, control, maybe low latency, but HPE handles the infrastructure upkeep, monitoring, support. It frees up your internal IT team.
Best of both worlds, maybe. Control of on-prem, ease of managed service.
That's the idea, yeah.
Interesting. Okay, number 9 looks inside SAP HA itself. What is a primary feature of SAP HA dynamic tiering?
Dynamic tiering, data management.
The answer is B, moves warm data to extended storage. Can you unpack warm data and why moving it helps?
Sure. Think about data access frequency. You've got hot data accessed all the time, then warm data accessed less often, and maybe cold data rarely touched.
Okay.
SAP HA's in-memory speed is best for that hot data. Dynamic tiering is a feature that automatically moves the less frequently accessed warm data off the expensive in-memory tier onto usually cheaper disk-based storage.
So it keeps the super fast memory for the data that really needs it.
Exactly. It optimizes costs. You don't fill up valuable RAM with data that isn't needed instantly. It's about balancing performance and storage efficiency, managing the data lifecycle smartly.
Smart data placement. Got it. Last question, number 10. Managing the infrastructure around SAP HA. Which benefit does HPE InfoSight provide for SAP HA management? InfoSight. AI Ops. The answer is C. Predictive analytics to prevent infrastructure issues. How does predicting problems actually work here, and why is it valuable?
This is where AI and machine learning really shine in IT operations. InfoSight constantly monitors the health of performance, everything about the infrastructure supporting HA.
Collecting tons of data.
Tons of data. And it uses predictive analytics to spot patterns, anomalies, things that suggest a problem might be developing.
Like what kind of problems?
Could be predicting storage running low or potential performance bottleneck, maybe component failure risk before it actually happens and causes an outage.
So it gives you a heads up.
Exactly. It's proactive. It helps you fix things before they break. For critical systems like SAP HA, that improve reliability and reduce downtime is huge. It's like an early warning system for your infrastructure.
That sounds incredibly useful. Proactive problem solving. If any of these areas spark your interest, definitely dig deeper.
It provides a solid foundation.
Definitely. Well, thanks for joining us on this deep dive.